Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill,
and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWitt.
Hi.
Welcome to our show today. In this episode, Jill and I talk about how and why you should not get hung up on deed issues. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Okay. Michael asks, we discovered through a Land Academy member on a group chat that they had passed on a property that we were excited about because of the amount of the back taxes owed. $3,900. Wow. I talked to the county treasurer and they agreed to cut in half. Wow. The property assessment is $3,500 and we paid $500. After consulting with some members familiar with the area, we concluded to just cut our losses and walk away. My wife was concerned about something coming back to bite us, but we haven't even recorded it with the county. Are we in jeopardy of having them come after us?
This is a brilliant question.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't, from the question though, Jill, understand why they cut their losses because I don't understand. Do you?
No, it sounds like to me
They just didn't see the value in it.
Yeah, like they bought it for $500. Well, that's great. And the treasurer, it sounds like, we're willing to cut him a deal on the taxes, which is phenomenal.
But they could sell for more.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, I wonder if they're just afraid. They didn't even market it. They haven't even recorded it. And it's like they're afraid to go out there and go for it, which I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah, let's take a couple steps back. You don't have to pay the taxes if you don't want to. If you bought it for $500 and it's got, in this case, $1,500 plus taxes on it, which is, half of the county agreed to, cut it in half, it sounds like. Just market it with the back taxes on. You don't have anything to lose. It'd take you 20 minutes to put the maps together and stuff now. Wouldn't you do that? Or am I missing something, Joe?
No, I would put it out there. Absolutely.
Me too.
Well, you know what? And I would do, you have a signed deed, so technically it's in your name. Or does anybody come after you? No. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? The county's going to take it back. And so it's still just a walk away non-event.
The worst thing that happened here is you lost $500. If you never recorded the deed, which it sounds like you haven't, no, there's to directly answer your question, you are in jeopardy of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It sounds like you learn. It sounds like they just didn't check the taxes before purchasing the property, and that's okay. You only do that once.
Tell you what, that's right. Costs $500 to learn. My bigger concern is that you're buying property from another member who didn't tell you there's a tremendous amount of,
No, it sounds like they threw a member that they passed on the property and they had already got the property.
Right. Okay, universe of people who are asking questions. It would be awesome if you could take about 13 seconds and really see if your question makes sense only inside of your head. Or everybody else who's reading it has to figure it out on the air. Like this.
Do you know what's funny about this? This is clearly an example of our staff just cutting and pasting verbatim the real questions. So if you think we make up these questions for this show, oh no. This is a glaring example of these are real questions and they aren't even really proofed. They are just thrown out there for Jack and I. So that's okay. We are.
Mom and Dad Mom and Dad, figure it out. I don't know.
Exactly. They use some big words here. It must be good.
All right. So to answer your question, Michael, it's Michael, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because I don't understand the question.
Exactly.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on landinvestors.com. Today's topic: how to get hung up or how not to get hung up and why you shouldn't get hung up on deed issues. This is the meat of the show.
I liked your first tile. How to get hung up. How to get hung up on deed issues by even talking about them.
Yeah, that might be the end title because this is a long time from air. So that might, So here's the deal. Here's what Jill and I were talking about before we started the show. We usually have a little talk before So to minimize us making idiots of ourselves on the air.
Too late.
What we should have done is read the question to each other. Anyway.
That's right.
Next time, I wonder, the question should be, Jill, what's your favorite color? Green. If you have a question or you want to be on the show, like that.
Right. I love it.
Deed issues are you should be doing your own deeds in the very beginning of your career. So you learn how to drive a manual transmission, as Jill says. Does that mean you should drive a manual transmission the rest of your life? No. Eventually you want to get an automatic so you don't have to think about it anymore. But at least you know how it works. Or if you get in a bind, you can get yourself out of the bind because you know how to drive a stick shift. It's the same thing with doing your own deed. The first 10 deals or so that you do, we want you to get to know how to do your deeds. After that, you're going to go on to fry bigger fish. And here's our criteria about when we stopped doing deeds. If you spend more than $5,000 on an acquisition, or if we do, we get title insurance, period. If we think we're going to make more than $5,000 to $8,000 and beyond, then we have a title agent complete the transaction on our behalf. How can we check the title agent's work to see if it's accurate? Well, because we did a bunch of deals on our own and learned how to drive the stick shift. That's the real value in doing deals this way. Jill, correct me at any point.
Oh, keep going. I'm like, this is great. You're right.
So what's happened, and here's the talk that Jill and I had right before we started the show. There's a tremendous amount of questions about deeds and how to do deeds and notary, to the point where I feel concerned that the bus it's taking a life of it on of its own. Mm-hmm. And so you can't let the fact that you're trying to save or $300 per transaction, change your life. Mm-hmm. You can easily make up for that by doing larger deals. And in fact is, and this is what I told Jill in the beginning, and I'll say it now, the vast majority of the people that I speak with who are members or who are not our members all week would never consider doing their own deeds, ever. Mm-hmm. In fact, they stopped doing it a long time ago. It's only for brand new people. Guess who Jill talks to all week? Brand new people. Mm-hmm. So that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, you're right. And you got to get past this. I see too many deed questions, like you just said, and people get hung up on it. Why are we seeking out problems, by the way, too? Like you just said, Jack, do bigger deals, do more deals, use a title agent. You should be past this issue really fast.
Well, yeah, you should do probably 10 small deals or more. And if a deal's real small, you buy a bunch of properties. Like, we do transactions where you buy 500 properties in one situation. So you make that its own deed machine. There's mm-hmm. circumstances when it's really appropriate, but mm-hmm. It's if you're brand new, it's tough there's a big learning curve about doing deeds and stuff, and that's what Success Plan is for. Mm-hmm. Do you know what's information for that?
Well, you know what's funny about this? Deed issues are not really an issue. I guess that's one of my whole points here too. We should be looking at the deal. That's the issue here. I don't want anybody spending more than 5 minutes thinking about the deed.
You know why this is? Because the deals that we all do are good. Mm-hmm. Has anybody ever called you, Jill, member or not, and said, "No, there's a flaw in buying this property for this price and selling it for this price. It's just I'm not having a good experience with it." No, never. I've never talked to anybody. In fact, quite the opposite. Like calls I get are, I've made $200,000 last month, and I've done it consistently for 6 months, and I have quit my job, or my wife's quit her job, or mm-hmm. This is thank you, Jack and Jill.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get it to the next level?
Bingo.
My answer is almost always, well, we're gonna get you there together,
right?
But you got to stop doing your own deeds.
Yep. You
got to use products like Parcel Fact so you can find a property in less than 35 seconds. So you got to start leveraging your time better, mm-hmm. So that you're only doing deals and you're not doing deeds. You're not doing any research. It's all subbed out. That's what Land Investors is all about, providing you tools to do all that.
Right. Subbed out or automated.
Right. This gets me thinking, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
We could,
Uh-oh.
because you're building a customer service empire on the top of the hill there in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
We could have an on-staff escrow person.
Yes, we could.
All this stuff for us. They'll probably get a kick out of it, too.
Yes, we could.
Or if they're so confused, we could have that escrow person just do the deal for them and call it, Land Investors Escrow.
Huh. I happen to be interviewing someone right now this week that actually can answer some of these questions that's been in the industry a little bit that
I know you do.
maybe can help.
That's why I said it.
Thank you. Up the hill. Hey, it's kind of funny. We could actually say we do go up the hill because that's where our office is.
Wow. That's ironic. Jack and Jill go up the hill to their office every day.
Exactly. Not every day.
Jack and Jill go up the hill. Jack and Jill
Once
go
a
up to
week.
their office once a month
There we go.
to fetch a
Make
pail
sure
of money. Wait,
There.
hold on.
Oh, no.
Let's do this nursery rhyme.
Okay.
Jack and Jill go up the hill to their office once a month to fetch a pail of money.
Oh, my gosh. That's
Finish it.
awesome. I don't know. And then on the way down, I don't know. There's not a frown. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. That's really good.
Oh, if you're a listener to the show, please email us. Please write a nursery rhyme like that and send it back to us.
On the way down, there's not a frown. I have to think about it. I'm trying to involve Strand and bicycles, and I can't get them to rhyme. So that's good.
Anyway,
I love
we'll
it.
sub it out.
Okay, cool.
So the whole point of the show is some of the detail-oriented things that once you learn how to drive a stick, you don't have to deal with it. And that's how you really leverage yourself, springboard yourself into making some serious dough in real estate.
When we were talking the pre-show and we were kind of covering, what we wanted to say about this topic, I wrote down 3 words from what you said, and I have to say it because the whole topic is dispel the crap.
Yeah, that's what this whole podcast is.
I have to say it.
Dispel the crap.
This is a bunch of crap. We're all getting hung up on stupid deeds. If you're, maybe that's it. And I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be Jack for a moment.
Uh-oh.
If you're hung up on deeds and you can't get past some of these things like, I don't know, where do they sign and things like that?
Where do they sign?
Seriously, this might not be for you. No, and I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest because I do see some questions and some things. If you can't get past that, if you're in your head hung up on this little detail, then you might not have what it takes. You got to get past
So you're
this.
cracking me up right now.
I'm going to be blunt.
You've clearly been, I've seen you little miffed like 6 times in your life.
But it's true. Well, you and I had such a good chat, Jack, and you're right. I mean, come on. Are you here? Why are you here? Are you here
we go. I want to hear this. Go ahead. Let it out, man.
Okay. Well,
I love this stuff.
Okay. Are you here to make some money or are you here because you're really bored? I mean, I don't know. Are you do you do your own taxes because you like it?
Where is this coming from?
I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. You're making me laugh and it's hurting. So it's good. But come on, everyone. This is we're talking to we have a lot of people in our world right now that are on the fence, and they are 5 minutes away from being heavy hitters. And
well, they are heavy hitters, and they don't even know it yet because they just want more.
Yeah, they didn't get hung up on this.
Yeah.
This was a blip.
You know what
for
they
them.
did? They followed the rule that I just outlined. I'll do it again real quick. Less than $5,000. Get the practice to do it on your own, and after that, seek out bigger deals and use title.
Yeah. I don't think I couldn't wrap it up any better than that.
And, Title Mind is a company that is in the works where we will take all of the, you're going to input an APN, just like you do in Parcel Factor, put in a state, county, and APN, and a couple other things that we need, like the purchase price and all of that. And we're going to do our staff will complete the deal for you. Mm-hmm. So, we will solve this. Just keep that in the back of your mind if you are actually getting hung up on deed issues. There's a solution out of a real low cost, high quality solution coming. Mm-hmm. You better? You feel okay now?
I do. We dispelled the crap, and it's so nice.
Dispel the crap.
I'm sorry. I love it. It's so good. Every now and then you say these funny little sayings. Remember we did that a while back. We had them on Instagram, and it was called the crap Jack says. Yeah. And that's one of them. I really like that.
Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to dispel the crap.
That's right. We do it every day, and we use that to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I can tell you're feeling better.
Thank you.
I like it.
I needed to get that out, man.
I know. Something tripped you up about it. Were you just too many deed questions? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Well, you know
what it is? It's no fun for us to answer deed questions, really.
Well, that's it. Because I realized that you helped me realize, Jack. I mean, part of being a good teacher is pushing people along. And it's easy to get hung up in holding people's hand. I'm here saying that I might have accidentally been holding people back by holding their hands a little bit too much. Instead of telling them, knock it off, solve your own problem, get to the end of the math question, I'll see you later, you can do this. Instead of helping them along. And so you reminded me that I need to not help these people or they're never going to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that's a good point, Jill, because what you do in this set of companies that we have and what I do is so different. Mm-hmm. I deal with the people who are calling me, telling me to take this thing to the moon. Mm-hmm. And you deal with some customer service stuff. Mm-hmm. We can make there's a need.
Well, there's a need for both, and sometimes we each have to reel each other back in. And you know what? You reeled me back in, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime. Likewise. Thanks. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land,
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.